Plus for genuine information.
Welcome to yet another episode of Info Plus. Today we have an exciting tale of collaboration, education, and cultural exchange. I'm Alina Singh, and we are here to explore the beautiful collaboration between the University of the Highlands and Islands, Scotland, and AITM College, Nepal. So, joining us today is the distinguished representative from the University of the Highlands and Islands, Scotland, Mr. Craig Lennox, who is the Director of International Partnership at the University of the Highlands and Islands, Scotland. So, without further ado, let's welcome him to the show. So, hi Craig, welcome to the show.
Namaste, hello. Thank you for that warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be here in Nepal.
Great to have you here. So, to start off with, can you tell a bit about the University of the Highlands and Islands, Scotland, and also briefly explain your role at the university?
Sure. First of all, University of Highlands and Islands, it's quite a long name, so we usually refer to as UHI. It's much easier to remember. We are an integrated university. That means we deliver a range of levels of education from +2 level, undergraduate or bachelor, master's level through to PhD. And rather than having 1 or 2 campuses like most universities would have, we have 16 campuses based all over different areas in Scotland. And my role as Director of Partnerships, I'm responsible for engaging with prospective partners such as AITM, exploring the opportunities in terms of how we could collaborate and how we could be successful together, establishing those partnerships and then maintaining those partnerships. So I have a global remit. However, we work predominantly in East, Southeast and South Asia regions currently.
Well, Nepal is a fascinating country with rich cultural heritage.
Absolutely.
So how has your visit been so far, and what aspects of Nepal have intrigued you the most?
So this is my second visit to Nepal. After the first visit, I was really excited to be able to come back. I'm here with 2 colleagues and it's their first visit to Nepal. And I've been trying to encourage them and tell them about Nepal, but you really don't understand how magical Nepal is until you're here. I think for us, everyone's very friendly. People are extremely welcoming. There's a real genuine interest as to where are you from? What are you doing here? Tell me about your country. Tell me about your heritage and your background. People have really gone that extra mile to learn the smaller details. So in the morning when we go for breakfast at the hotel, people remember our room number, our coffee order without having to ask again and again. And actually, I don't think this is something that's forced. I think it's second nature to the Nepali people. When we've been going out and about, people really go out of their way to get to know us and teach us about their heritage. So yeah, I feel very welcome and very at home in Nepal.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Now let's talk about the collaboration between the University of the Highlands and Islands, Scotland, and AITM College. So how did the collaboration between these 2 institutions come about?
Sure. The CEO of AITM College, he is well connected with the Scottish Qualifications Authority through some other business that he works with. He has worked closely with SQA, and they made an introduction to UHI to explore what partnership opportunities there might be. So Dr. Roshan Rathi, he visited us in January 2023. He explored our campus, he met with various senior managers, we discussed the potential to collaborate. That was then followed by myself coming out to visit here in August earlier this year. And throughout the journey, we've been in regular contact to establish how the partnership can be formed. And then this week, we have been out here with 2 academic colleagues to look at curriculum mapping and to better understand how we can deliver an effective program here in Nepal.
So what specific academic programs or initiatives are being undertaken through this collaboration?
So initially through the collaboration, we have agreed to deliver 4 programs, but in order to ensure the highest quality, that processes and practices are all in place and robust, we're initially launching with hospitality management. So we're launching with our BA Honours Hospitality Management, or BHM as it's better well known here in Nepal. Following that, at a slightly later date, we're going to be launching BA Honours Business Management, followed by MBA, followed by BA Honours Computing. So in total, we are hoping to have BHM, BBA, BICT and MBA
Okay.
in total being delivered here at AITM.
Well, that sounds promising. So, can you highlight some of the key benefits that student can expect from this partnership?
Absolutely. The partnership, I think, will bring to Nepal an international pedagogy and a unique blend of the theoretical background and theoretical frameworks, as well as the practical, both which are important for the delivery of an effective project. We also have applied assessments. So here in Nepal, a lot of degree programs, they have a year-end exam. However, our programs, we have continuous assessment, some of which is written, some of which is case study, some of which is a practical element. So we deliver that continuous assessment throughout the program. The other thing that we bring are academics who have really strong industry links. That means what happens is they are engaged with industry partners. They are able to bring to the classroom cutting edge techniques and the most recent trends and practices within the area of study, so that the students, when they graduate and go out to find a career opportunity, they are up to date with the most recent practices and recent trends within, whether it's hospitality, computing, or business. I think the other unique opportunity that we offer is we have a globalized program, which is quite Western centric, but working in collaboration with the Nepalese academics and the faculty. What we're hoping to have is a unique blend of global and localized case studies and examples that bring the theory and the practice to life.
Great. So, how is the exchange of the faculty and resources are being facilitated between the University of the Highlands in Ireland, Scotland, and AITM College?
Great question. The UHI and AITM will predominantly be engaging through our online learning platform, which is known as Brightspace. So academics and students will have access to a range of learning materials, library facilities, and the academics will have access to kind of training and development. We are also establishing a range of meetings, training and development opportunities, exchanging of ideas so that the academics here in Nepal can influence our academics back home, and vice versa. Our academics can then influence your academics here in Nepal. Longer term, what we're hoping will happen is that we will have the opportunity for staff and student exchange, so that Nepalese students have the opportunity to come with staff members to UHI in Scotland for a short period of time to experience our campus, and that our students equally have, and staff equally have, that opportunity to come here to Nepal to experience the fantastic facilities here and meet with the staff here at AITM.
What ways does this collaboration between the UHI and AITM College contribute to this cultural and educational exchange between Scotland and Nepal?
I think myself, prior to coming to Nepal for this opportunity, I knew very little about the country, very little about the culture here. And I think by having this partnership and bringing two faculties and two universities together, or two colleges together, what it will do is it will open up professional exchange in terms of practice, theory, and the methods used to teach effectively, but it will also bring that cultural exchange and bring that closeness between the teaching staff and the students. There are certain focuses. One big focus that I've noticed here within the ITM curriculum is sustainability. That's equally a strong focus that we have back at UHI. And I think both partners can explore that effectively, deliver that knowledge and that information to the students, and then hopefully that will infiltrate into the wider society here in Nepal, but also in Scotland. So I think bringing them both together will be a really fruitful opportunity. Again, coming back to my previous point about the globalized case studies and examples, and having some localized case studies and examples that perhaps your faculty can bring to our faculty, that will be again knowledge exchange, and it will hopefully influence how we teach and how we develop our program back in the UK.
Well, that sounds exciting. And are there any program options allowing students to commence their studies here in Nepal and subsequently complete the remaining portion in Scotland?
Sure. This partnership is kind of threefold. The key aspect of this partnership is for our program to be delivered here in Nepal with your faculty, and that will be a collaborative opportunity. However, that benefits both colleges. For the students themselves, we have a credit transfer agreement. So our program is being fully delivered here in Nepal. Should students at the end of years 1 or year 2, 3 wish to then transfer over to Scotland, because it's the same programme, the credit transfer will be fairly straightforward for them. If students decide that they want to stay and do our programme fully in Nepal for the 4 years, then we have an articulation agreement whereby we would prioritise applications from your students and allow them to progress onto some of our master's programmes. So the agreement has kind of threefold to it, and it's both student-centric but also looking at how we can benefit both colleges as well.
And through your interaction with Nepali students and teaching staffs, what shared goals or common challenges have you identified, and what strategies are you planning to address them?
I think prior to my academic colleagues who are with me this trip, prior to them coming out, we had some slight apprehensions around the objectives and the goals of AITM and how they would align with ourselves at UHI. Through the trip this time, I think sitting and having detailed conversations with AITM staff, it's become very clear that the student is the centre of what both colleges want to deliver. Everything we do at UHI is student-centric. It's all about the student experience, and that has been made highly apparent here when we've come to AITM. The student is the centre of everything that's being done and how we can influence and give students opportunities for the current and their future. We're all about the student experience, and we're also looking at alumni, the successes that alumni have, to provide aspiration for your students, to motivate the students by looking at people who have gone before them and are now working effectively in business and having successful businesses. I think one of the key challenges that we found generally between the Nepalese method of teaching and the Western method of teaching is we focus a lot more on the critical thinking in the West. So there are quite often statements made that then students would debate. And that debate and that discussion, often sometimes going against what the teacher has said or what the academic has said, can be a little bit challenging for Nepalese people. Obviously you have respect for your elders, so to be able to say, actually I don't agree with you, or I prefer this idea, or I'm more favoured with this argument. For younger students to have that kind of conversation here in Nepal with teachers can be a challenge. So what we're trying to do as we establish the partnership is have our academic staff work closely with your academic staff, so that we understand the cultural differences here and that critical thinking can be introduced in a way that your students might approach it more positively and feel more confident and comfortable in challenging their teaching staff. So I think these are the key areas that we need to work on.
Certainly a well-rounded approach.
Sure.
So can you also share some information regarding the affordability of the University of the Highlands and Islands programs and initiatives in place to make education accessible to a diverse student population?
Absolutely. So before we get into any partnerships at all, we do intensive market research. We try to understand the market that we're going to work in, so that when we put a partnership opportunity on the table with a prospective partner, all of the factors and all of the variables have been carefully considered. We're fully aware that the cost of living in the UK is much higher, and the earning potential in the UK is much higher than the average person here in Nepal. So we have really carefully considered what we can offer in terms of reduced fees or scholarship opportunities. Because we're an integrated college which offers further education, college diploma and degree together, for students who are coming on the credit transfer opportunity into our year 2, we have a reduced fee. It's a 42% reduction in the fee for the first year. So the fee goes down to about £7,980. Again, still not very affordable in terms of the earning potential here in Nepal. And then for years 3 and 4 to go on to the bachelor's degree, we have a 10% scholarship for all students from Nepal. That's automatically allocated to all students. So that brings the tuition fee down from about 13,900 down to about the 12,500. We understand that this is still quite a high amount of money. However, when students are in the UK, they have the option of working up to 20 hours a week, part-time. And what we have is strong industry partners. So if the students are studying hospitality, where we are based in Scotland, there are a lot of hospitality, 4- and 5-star hotels and resorts. We have strong connections to help students gain access to interview and hopefully part-time employment. If the students are studying business or computing, we have also very strong industry links that offer employment opportunities for the students.
Okay.
So when they graduate and come back to Nepal, they have their qualification, they have a global experience, they have some international work experience that they can then bring back to Nepal, and that will hopefully make them more competitive in the work market.
Great. Now, moving on, how does the University of the Highlands and Islands, Scotland, plan to contribute to the faculty development programs at AITM College?
So over the last week and prior to coming here, we've had a number of conversations online with faculty and with staff here. What we're looking at is the programme that we offer currently in Scotland. The programme's very well received back home, and what we're trying to do is take that programme and offer it as is, as much as possible in the Nepalese market. There are some tweaks and deviations being implemented, again, adding those kind of localised case studies and looking at maybe more of a South Asia-centric perspective when we are teaching. However, as the programme goes forward and as we deliver over a number of years and it needs to be updated and evolve, what we are looking at doing is, rather than UHI leading on that evolvement of the programme, we want that to be fully collaborative with the academics here. Those are the guys on the ground meeting with the students face to face. They understand the current needs, expectations, and kind of almost demands from the market. So it's important for us to listen to those demands and try to implement as much where possible. We also believe that working collaboratively with your faculty can hopefully influence how we deliver back in Scotland as well. The programme here, the academics and the students will have full access to Brightspace, which is our online learning platform. This will be a centralised hub for all teaching materials. It will be where students and teachers communicate. It will be where students submit assignments and assessments predominantly. But it will also be a place where our academics can come together. There will be a chat system in the centre where they can discuss ideas. They can share perhaps best practices or most recent theories and texts that they've been engaging with. So this centralised hub will be a bit like a key place for us to come together and make sure that we are delivering the best quality product going forward and the best student experience overall.
And considering factors like technological infrastructure and time zones, what measures is the University of the Highlands and Islands, Scotland, is implementing to facilitate effective communication and coordination between these two institutions?
That's a really good question, actually, and it's something we've been considering quite a lot over the last couple of days. I think Nepal is circa 4 or 5 hours ahead of the UK. So usually when we're here mid-afternoon, our colleagues back in the UK are just beginning work. By having the online platform Brightspace, this is a platform which is live, but also you can go back in at your leisure and pick up work within the time frame that you're working in. And again, with meetings, some of the discussions we've been having are around what are suitable times to have meetings. So some of the things we've realised is kind of 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the UK is, that's the beginning of our day. However, that equates to kind of 4:45-ish, 3:45, depending on the time of year here in Nepal, towards the end of your working day. However, we have these times allocated, and then the students will have messaging services where they can engage with their academics and their teachers as necessary. And I think the technological infrastructure that we have in the UK in terms of internet access and mobile phone technology, what we found here in Nepal is that the Wi-Fi, the 5G, everything is very, very advanced. So we don't really foresee any major problems at all.
Well, thank you for sharing those insights. But before we conclude, is there any message or impression you'd like to give to the people of Nepal?
This is UHI's first step of this size into a partnership of this scale. And we have been very careful in our approach. We have worked very closely with the team here at AITM to ensure that there's mutual beneficiality in establishing the partnership. But I think what's been very beneficial to us is we are still in the early stage of the partnership, and coming here this early with my academic team as well, we have spent really, really useful time with the team here, getting to know them, working together professionally, being exposed to the Nepalese culture, being very well looked after in terms of, hospitality, experiencing fantastic Nepalese culture and food. And I think as the weeks progressed, what we've realised is that we're actually very aligned in how we teach. We're very aligned in terms of the facilities that we have, but most importantly, we are both student-centric in our approach to delivering education. So I can be confident going back later on this week and telling my colleagues back home that this is a partnership that we will deliver long-standing, and that we are committed to the Nepalese market and to bringing Scotland and Nepal much closer together. We are hoping that we will be able to soon return the hospitality, the friendliness and the welcome that we've received here in Nepal when we have Nepalese students and the ITM staff coming to visit us in Scotland.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Info Plus for genuine information.